Hi, this is Julian. I'm 22 years old. I want to share my testimony of what God has done in my life. And during high school, I was just a normal kid. I would skateboard a lot, but the friends I was hanging out with, they introduced me to pot, and it became like an every weekend thing where I would just hang out with them and smoke weed, and I did enjoy it. It got to a point where like having friends like that, they led me to smoking, and that carried on through 6 years of my life. I would just constantly use weed and wasn't social without it. I thought that was like the lifestyle I would need to make me happy. That happened all during the time where I didn't really care of who I was becoming. I just felt like now in the present I want to become this person where I can just live my lifestyle however I wanted. During that time, I really wanted to change. I felt like I couldn't live this lifestyle anymore, and I would tell my parents like I'm done drinking, I'm done smoking, and then eventually I would just relapse. Like I would just go back to smoking, start drinking again, and that happened 3 times. I would tell my parents that I would stop completely, and then just continue using these drugs and alcohol. And it wasn't until I started hanging out with RJ and Mike where they started leading me to the Lord, and they started inviting me to church, and they started like they started telling me what God found acceptable and what was forbidden. And I realized like living a sober life is what God wanted me to be, a holy life. And during this time, I wanted change, and I didn't know how to do it. And it wasn't until I started going to Bible study, started hanging out with the highest praised church, and like just overwhelmed by their love for me, being a stranger, just going into their Bible study, and just welcoming like if I was a member forever. And it wasn't until then I decided to give my life to the Lord during that time. And now I have no temptation or any desire to touch weed, to touch alcohol. And I believe it's God giving me that power. I don't think I could have done it by myself. And I'm happy the life I live. I'm happy in this life that I live for Christ. And I wouldn't trade it for the world.
That's it.